Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to talk about LegoCon. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel where today we're doing another Octane's Oracle, where, of course, this is where I like to talk about the LEGO stuff going on and my opinions and how we really try and stay positive in the face of such mutilation of my character packs. But we'll get on to the tiny men in a minute. I want to talk about this year's LegoCon and all of the reveals, of course. That is why you guys are here. But we'll take it a little bit more calmly. We'll go through it nice and slowly, and I will share my opinions on everything that got revealed, because this is really like the last big reveal season for the year, I guess. I mean, we're going to have a couple more UCS bits and some bits that haven't come through yet, but pretty much this is our last big one for the year. And for those of you wanting me to talk about the loop coaster, I'm saving myself for a separate video on that one, but that will get there eventually, soon enough, I'm sure. But anyway, a little bit of background. So this was our second LegoCon 2022, and I watched LegoCon 2021 like many people, fairly intrigued by what we were going to see, and I watched it while building stuff, and while I understand the necessity to go for a family audience, it was without doubt a mess. It was a mess. If nothing else, I just remember rolling my eyes so many times while watching it, and it was genuinely quite disappointing, to the point where I was not fussed that I would be missing this year's. I was working, so I had no excuse to actually watch it or tune in, and when I came home I had a nice full slate of reveals to very quickly skip through and then analyse when they showed up on Brookset, my preferred method of viewing this stuff. However, from what I hear and from what little clips I did see, it seemed better managed. It seemed still very off. I don't know, we're not quite there yet, but then again, it's always going to be slightly off. It is a family product, and well, that's that, so I'm not really going to get into that. Instead, we're going to start with the sets. So I'm just trying to work out where I want to start. I think we'll start with everyone's most anticipated set to come out of LegoCon, and that is, of course, the FC Barcelona Go Brick Me. Yeah, I got you there for a second. You thought I was going to talk about one of the big ones. Nope. I want to talk about this because I think it got very little attention, understandably, and yeah, it's not great, is it? I mean, it's another Brickheads. Go Brick Me was fantastic. The original was a really great set. However, seeing one here for sports people, I'm sure people of the club will love it, but I don't get why it had to be Barcelona. Couldn't it have just been all sports people and then given you parts to do, I don't know, different team colours, and then maybe like a tennis outfit or something, or a golfing cap? Why wasn't it just sports Go Brick Me? Like, I don't get why it had to be so specific, because you've just limited your market by about 2/3, not to mention the already 90% of the LEGO community that doesn't seem to care about these sports sets. I have no real info to weigh in on how I think this is going to sell, or whether I think this is a mistake, because obviously clearly LEGO think there is a market for it, and I'm sure it will make some people happy. I know, well, I don't know how well the stadiums have been selling, but judging by the fact that last year's Camp Nou is already on sale, I would assume that they're not doing great. So, was this necessary? Probably not. The gold build also, I don't like it just because it doesn't fit with the Brickheads. We're going to see a theme with that of ruining my displays. But I won't be buying this. I don't usually buy that many Brickheads, only the really interesting ones, to me at least. But this is cool for some people. I just wish it was sports in general. Again, we're going to come back to that 2022 word of missed potential. Anyway, I've got to go a bit more organised, or else I am going to miss things, and I do want to talk about everything. So let's move on again to another one of people's absolute favourites, the floral art. It just looks pretty. I've got nothing much else to say about it, apart from that I really like the style. It's floral art in general is just always this interesting thing. It reminds me of like a watercolour, and they've got some adorable little designs here, and I love that they're slightly smaller as well, which means that they're cheaper, which is good to see. I think my favourite is like the Hawaiian lily style one. However, the other two are very nice, and they just remind me of those classic kitchen tiles, and I do love them. Not enough for me to buy them, but it is very cute, and just I like the orchids more. What can I say? The art is just not my thing. Anyway, moving into the actual big guns, we have the two 90th anniversary sets. Let's start with the Galaxy Explorer, because it's the one that got the least attention. £89. Fantastic price. Really happy with that. I also got to touch on the box art. I love the box art. I love the box art. I found a lot of people complaining that they've done a bad job or the font's wrong. I don't care. It's cool. They could have just given them to us on 18 plus black box arts, and they didn't. So I'm happy about it, and it looks fantastic. For those of you who don't know, I have 497. 497 has been in my family for a while, and I received it about 5 or 6 years ago, and I've restored it lovingly. I have all the parts. I have the creator base plates, and I cannot tell you how special it was to see this set finally come to its remake, and it's magic. Now I know what the Pirates fans must have felt with Barracuda Bay and not the Medieval Blacksmith. That doesn't really count, although how the Castle fans must feel now. And let me tell you, even as a Lego fan, oh, that's a set and a half. Anyway, back to the Galaxy Explorer. I think Jang really did sum it up best, that no matter whether you're into these themes or not, as he's not a Castle person, and I'm not really when it comes to Classic Castle, you can appreciate both of these sets just as a Lego fan. They are incredible. Particularly with the Galaxy Explorer, I haven't squealed like this since the bookshop from 2020, because everything about it is just perfect. I mean, they got the angles down just like they did in the Space Shuttle Discovery. They got this perfect balance between the studs and the not studs, while also upgrading all of their construction methods, because obviously previously they were like, how do I explain it? They haven't done a one-to-one replica. Obviously, a lot of the individual details have been replicated, like the panels on the back, the arrow using the tiles, the little red sirens, the engines. It is like a upgraded, souped-up version of the ship. It has all of the original parts to it. But my point being is that stuff like the window arrangement has been altered slightly, and the detail on the front has been altered slightly, and some of the angles have been added. And it's like they took the original 497 and sort of like zoom and enhanced, and they like repixelated it. You know, like you like take an 8-bit model, like or like one of the classic video game sprites, like Mario, right? And then you make him more curvy, and you add in a couple more details that you just couldn't get at that scale. And that's what I feel like has happened here, and it's honestly all the better for it. 4-seater cockpit, mwah, I love it so much. You got the LL928 on there, and did I mention the set number itself is 10497, which is so sweet. I'm so glad they didn't do the other set number. I know this thing had 2 set numbers and everyone uses the other one. Oh, no, to me this is always 497. It will be 497 forever, and that's just that. To include all 4 of the Classic Space minifigures is wonderful, and to have this like white interior, which is something we just didn't have on the old one, with all of these like stickered panels that came so much later, just like 1 or 2 years afterwards, it really brings all of Classic Space together and shows that it is a coherent timeline, which is something I've talked about before, or maybe I haven't. I don't really remember. I talk about Lego a lot. One thing I always mentioned is that Classic Space always felt very disconnected. While we had the same Classic Space guys, suddenly there were the blue suits and the white rockets, and I think that was always when Classic Space ended for me. But to me, this does feel like a synergy. And then, hello, are we going to talk about the new room? We've got a new lab at the back of this thing, and just when I saw that, it just made me smile. It made me so happy to see. So not only do you have all of the control panels at the front with a couple of new modern twists, you can fit 4 of them in there, and then you've got like this lab space with 2 bed bunks. You've got this like recording camera, them outside on the moon, and they can just lay down there, which it just looks so amazing. And you've got little storage capsules outside, which remind me so much of the robot like Walker one, which is awesome. And then there's an airlock, which made me so happy because they didn't have to include that. They know they didn't have to include an airlock, but they did, and it's wonderful. Not to mention you've got the ramp feature, which has been significantly upgraded, which I'm very glad to see and looks really, really fresh, along with, of course, the new buggy. And I'm glad that they included the robot, despite it not fitting the era. I would have preferred to have like the Benny one, I think. But, oh, what can I say? It is fantastic. I've got to get it, because this thing's going to be so expensive on the aftermarket if I wait even like 1 year. And I have this really sneaky suspicion that they're going to retire them at the end of the year, like a dumb company that goes, oh, 90 years of play, only can do it this year. Either that or next summer. So I've got to get my hands on my Galaxy Explorer. I just love the rocket pods as well, where it just feels so Classic Space. I'm so surprised that wasn't a feature in the original. That's just fantastic. I love the yellow stripe. This is a box I'd keep, of course. I cannot wait to see the reviews of this. I cannot wait to see the speed build. I cannot wait to own this set. It is just a piece of memorabilia that just means so much to so many people, and it's so been faithfully created and upgraded. Oh, it's wonderful. It's so, so wonderful. But then, of course, there's the other one. There's the Lion Knight's Castle, which you guys know, right, that I've often berided the castle fans. I have been very harsh to them before, and I have said that I was not excited for this, and I would have preferred something else. And I will be talking about that later, because I haven't forgotten, and I have not forgiven either. But I've got to admit, this thing's pretty cool. I wasn't that big a fan of last year's Creator 3-in-1 one. I know a load of people absolutely died over that set, and I just didn't really see it. I liked the variation between the alternative models and such. However, it didn't do anything special for me. This does something special for me. Forget the history. I don't understand the obsession with Classic Castle. I still don't understand the obsession with Classic Castle, and I'm really angry that so many people... Well, no, I'm not. That's a lie. It's upsetting to me that this thing will basically never be in stock, because so many people that are just die-hard fans are going to have to get their hands on it. I really hope these things have an extended life. If they're limited edition at all, expend multiple rants, because I won't be happy with that. But just the build techniques, this is just a medieval castle. Like, honestly, just forget the Lego portion. And I have some vintage castle stuff, and I just don't get it. But the accuracy, or well, I should say the pseudo-accuracy here, is fantastic. I love the colours they've chosen. Firstly, like light grey with the dark grey on the accents is great. The new crenellations around all the heights is fantastic. These little windows made out of like these cheese slopes look great. And actually, I really love the curved green slopes around the base as well. They look fantastic in all the different heights. The causeway looks great. And of course, working drawbridge and portcullis. And over to the side, in the side tower next to the beehive in the black tree, it looks like you've got a second gear rack for a second secret door. Secondly, this castle like folds open and closed, and that box art is gorgeous. So you can have both this compacted version, which lines up perfectly, and then this expanded version, which also looks great. There are just so many like stagings and the way that this set's been composed that really, really please me. Such as like the rocks piled up to the sides with the little bright green and the dark green old style trees with the vines crawling over the wall, and then this mock Tudor style house for the rich part of the castle. I love it. All the little architectural details make this the definitive Lego castle, and oh, it just blew me away. I was expecting something good. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. And then it has an interior, which you guys know I'm a sucker for. Firstly, the working drawbridge and portcullis. I've already mentioned it, got to mention it again. You've actually got stair access around everywhere, and it's... Oh, how exciting. You've got all the secret rooms, which of course I love, and you've got the forestman, like, hidey hole somewhere. Actually, I do want to address on this as well. Not only do you have a full interior, but next to the gatehouse, you've also got like this outdoor market area, which then like flows inside the castle later on. It's a really, really intriguing area that hasn't got much attention, but I just like how it flows, right? So you come into your main hall where you've got your living room and you've got your what's it called, like your dining room, and then you can go up the stairs to the outside balcony where you can come back in, and the fact that it just flows like a proper castle just pleases me to no end. I love this little outside area. It's so cute. You've got your water wheel too, and then all the minifigures. It's fantastic. I don't have as much of attachment to Classic Castle, but it's just, as a Lego fan, you've got to appreciate this. All of the little references on the shields, all of the, like the little thing like the child building the yellow castle. Oh, so cute. Such a big play set. It reminds me of a Playmobil castle out of my youth. I know that's a bit of a crime to say, but it does. I just love how accurately medieval it is, or I should say pseudo-accurate medieval, because obviously there was a whole thing about how accurate are these medieval castles. That's besides the point. You get a lot of lovely stuff here. So many people have said it already, there's really no point in me elaborating any further. One more thing I wanted to touch on. Anyone that thinks the fact that they haven't included a king is a misstep or is a Lego being woke can just sort of leave, really. I have no issue with the fact that we have a queen here, and she is the one leading the charge. It's fantastic, it's what we need, and it is just as accurate as anything else, and Lego can do what they want for positive role models. If you don't like it, just switch the head and you'll have your King Lion, and that's about it, really. So the few amount of comments that I've seen about missing a king minifigure can just leave, because honestly that's just so ridiculous. Just leave. Moving on though, because I don't want to gush on them forever. The Galaxy Explorer is so special. The King's Castle is special. I've come around on both. I still won't buy the castle because it's just too much for me. But it is just they did such a good job. 90th anniversary's gone really well, and then you've got the Forestman set as well. And I'm sure we're not done. I think there might be one more, maybe at some point, but who knows. I also want to quickly touch on the Minecraft stuff. Yeah, let's go with the Minecraft stuff before we go into the big things as well, because everything from here on out is pretty much the big ticket items. Got the Skeleton Dungeon and Abandoned Village, both of which look pretty good. I think the Abandoned Village is a bit hefty on the price side, although I do really love the play feature of being able to remove the cobwebs and rebuild your village. Having the zombie villagers back in their updated style is fantastic, even further limits the desire for me to buy that original village set, so that is always fantastic. Love to see that. The Skeleton Dungeon is the steal of the show. Originally I thought the Abandoned Village was going to be better. Skeleton Dungeon, perfect. The Dripstone Cave and the Lush Cave coming together in the middle with 3 skeletons and the disc and the bread and the clay, getting the enchanted gear and the crossbow. There's a block of copper ore in there as well. Just they thought it through. They know what they're doing. They both look great. Skeleton Dungeon, day one buy. As soon as I see it, I'll buy that full price. I'm still waiting for the Bastion to go on sale from the Summer Wave, but that's besides the point. Before we move into my big 2-ticket items, being the character packs and the collectible minifigures, let's briefly touch on Star Wars. The Justifier, it looks overpriced, and the ATT actually looks pretty good. I won't buy either of these. The Justifier has a good minifigure selection, and like the prison cell on the inside. I'm hoping it's got a nice spacious cargo hold, because there's a lot of space in that thing, and currently it doesn't look very usable, so I'm holding my breath on that one. But no interest. I really don't care. And then the ATTE. Can Star Wars fans stop now? I think we've gotten everything that we need, or it feels like we need. Can we just give them a break for a couple of years? This is another set you wanted. Actually, no. Scratch that. I want the wheel bike. Bring back General Grievous's wheel bike for January next year to go with this thing. I will buy that set. That is a set I will buy. I just don't have any interest in these big prequel-based Star Wars sets, and this is coming from someone that treats Star Wars 1 to 6 pretty much equally, because that's just the era I grew up in. Yeah, I'll be buying the Kaminoan set, I think, but neither of these two. And then we have Avatar, and it looks pretty. I get it. I'm waiting to see the whole wave before I make a final judgment. Again, I love seeing more of this transparent rods holding up rocks. It is great to see. But more specifically, I think my issue with these comes down to the legs and the arms. I thought we had decided not to bring them back. I don't think they work here. I didn't even like them in the Toy Story set, and now the problem we're going to be left with is you're going to have every Lego fan under the sun. Every time we see a character that's slightly more than 5'9", everybody's going to start screaming about using the long legs and arms. We don't need them. They look unnatural. I can just about stomach the new headpiece. I personally think it should have just been a normal minifigure because it doesn't look that different. And the arms and the legs, it's just unnecessary. It didn't make a difference. There's been plenty of ideas, projects which have used normal legs and arms. No one would have cared if they weren't here. And that says something, because there's still a large amount of people that would have preferred them on Buzz and Jessie, Woody and Jessie from Toy Story. The thing is, right, every time we get a minifigure now, it's going to be, why didn't you use the long legs? Because they won't use them again. Let's face it, they didn't bring them back to use them. Watch me get proven wrong in 6 months' time. They didn't bring back to use them. They brought them back for this because Disney told them to, and then we're going from there. They didn't need them. They shouldn't have had them. I would have preferred normal minifigures. And again, this is coming from someone that buys Mario character packs with more passion than CMFs. Sanctum Sanctorum. Oh, you guys are not going to like me for this one. It looks very nice. It feels very modern. I don't know if it's just the render that's talking me like that. And of course, all of the architecture is fantastic. But compared to Justin's normal stuff, like the designer, this is potentially his weakest. The figure selection is disappointing, to say the least. It's a fair amount of figures, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Sets like this don't have to have this many figures, and I like the idea of splitting it across the movies, except for I think they've split it across the wrong movies. It should have been Doctor Strange 1, Infinity War, and Doctor Strange 2. if you're going to do it like this, so that we can have an ancient one. I think specifically you could have also included Hulk, would have been nice to see. And I haven't watched the new movie, so I don't know about the Doctor Strange 2 stuff, although I do kind of want to go see that. The sand green roof does look great, the window looks great, all of the architectural stuff is fine. I just don't think I was ready for it yet. I feel like it's a year early, or maybe it's 2 years too late. Maybe this should have been with Infinity War. I mean, this wouldn't have been possible a couple of years ago. The interior is fantastic. I love the switch-outable walls, and all of like the little relics and things, and the little bit under the stairs, and all of the stickers are absolutely fantastic. I do feel like the top floor is a bit empty, and I don't like how small this sits on the base plate. I would have preferred it went to the back and sacrificed the Gargantos play feature, which would have been my preference, I think. Or yeah, just even if it was like a different building, like a New York brownstone that came up just above it, just to tie into like a modular city street on like the other side or something, would have been cool. I don't really think we needed the alleyway at the back. There's a very, very little of this building that's actually on the base plate. I don't think I'd pay $250 for it. I feel like $200 would be my limit, and yeah, I know price is going up and I've got to start judging it more fairly, but I feel like for what I'm getting here, I'm not feeling the volume to stuff. I feel like a lot of that part count's been sunk into small details. Bearing in mind that at least in my head right now, for $200, I should be getting somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 pieces. So this is bang on that. However, I just noticed now that I need to eat my words. It's $214. It's bang on where I'd pay for it in the UK. So I need to do my research better, clearly. I feel like the top floor is too empty though. I do still stand by that. I also still think that Ebony Moore should have had the aqua skin tone like he did before. I'm not a huge fan of the grey. It just doesn't look like him. It just looks like another generic villain. And actually, just to top it off, I just don't know. I feel slightly underwhelmed by it. And I can't put my finger on why. Usually I can spot these things. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's going to be a highlight of the year for most people. But I think if I had to pick between the two, it's surprisingly close. The Bugle probably still loses just because this is MCU based and I have more attachment to it, and this is more like a reasonable scale and also looks fantastic. But the Bugle comes surprisingly close for a comic book set that I don't particularly love. So yeah, something's gone wrong here, but I can't put my finger on it. I want to talk about my personal LegoCon highlight though. Because while I love the retro sets, this thing just topped it for me. This is Series 23, and of course this was leaked by LEGO themselves. What you doing, LEGO? And I want to put in this large, gushing, positive segment before we get to the character packs. This is the most memorable unlicensed series we have had since 2019 and Series 19. This is fantastic, and a lot of people are saying this is an underwhelming series. I disagree. I have waited for so long for Christmas figures, since Santa back in Series 9, and after Monsters Series 14 flopped, I never thought we'd get it. And I know it's only half a series here, but they're by far my favourite part. I love this series. Right, let's start off at the beginning. We have the 90th year rep, who is of course the Lion Knight, who looks great with the Hobby Horse, or Lion Knightess Princess maybe. I don't know what they're going for. But she's here with mid-legs and looks great as well with that Hobby Horse, which I do of course love as a print. And then we've of course got the dragon to accompany her, and you guys know I was already going to love the dragon. So the dragon is my first definite day one buy. And by the way, CMFs haven't gone up in price, so that is a blessing. Green dragon, absolutely. I've got the red dragon. I will not be missing out on this. The green one looked even better than the red one in my opinion, and she doesn't have an angry face. Thank goodness. I hate the angry face on the other red dragon. We then got the wolf guy, who's potentially the most disappointing in the series, the one that's going to be forgettable, I think. Well, I guess it was necessary to have, but given that you've got so much Christmas rep here, why was this not a werewolf again? I don't understand. It should have been the female werewolf gender swap rather than guy in wolf with apron, from Red Riding Hood, but not. We didn't need this. We already have a perfectly good wolf mode. You didn't need wolf mascot either, and it sort of puts too many mascots into this series, which is interesting. Anyway, back to the positive stuff. A reindeer. Oh, yes! I've been waiting for this for, since I was 6, when I used to draw out minifigure ideas that I wanted to see, when CMFs were... Oh goodness, was CMFs even a thing when I started wanting this? I don't know. Obviously I got my reindeer fix last year with the reindeer battle pack, or should I say Santa's sleigh, but the last figure I wanted from CMFs, and this was a couple of years ago since I updated this, like I said I wanted the dragon, and I wanted a couple other bits, and the last two I said I wanted were my two Christmas figures. I wanted a reindeer and a snowman, like proper ones, and we've got them. We've got our reindeer mold, and now we have reindeer suit girl to wrap it up. So from here on out with CMFs, I will take anything. Of course, there are licenses I'd still love to see in CMFs. Personally, I would actually still quite like a Star Wars one, even though I don't think it's going to happen. I fall in the camp of where I think that would be okay, as long as they don't put up the price. I'd still like to see more Disney stuff. I'd like to see more classic animation stuff, more of these little one-off licenses, and of course Zelda as well. But just as far as unlicensed CMFs go, I'm done. I'm happy. I can die with peace knowing that this is yet another Lego theme that I got everything I wanted from, and then anything else that I buy from CMFs now is all just cherry on top bonus. There's nothing else unless they deliver me something I've completely forgotten about, but the reindeer just completes it for me. So that's my second definite buy. The popcorn suit I actually really love. Dark red mid-legs and this great over-the-top piece. We have a popcorn company in Lego. We've got Pop, the brand, and we've got popcorn carts that go in my fairground. So having a mascot for my fairground company would be great. I don't think he comes with an accessory, which is a bit of a shame, and I hope he has some torso printing at least, but still very, very happy to have him. My third definite buy. Fourth definite buy, the boat captain, and I couldn't care less about this guy at the beginning, and actually when they revealed him at LegoCon, I knew that there was a ferry captain in the series, but I could not work out what it was. It just looked like he had a giant slushie on him. But I've come to the realization that this guy looks a lot like Captain Smith from the Titanic in the movie, and I think that's a bit morbid, but that's why I'm buying him. We have our Titanic captain. Yay! It's not unnerving at all. He does look fantastic, potentially one of the more boring figures, but I do love that tugboat piece with the little bar attachment for the chimneys. It's so cute. My favourite three vehicle ones, we've had plane, boat, and car now, so train next, please. I think train car would be good. I'd love a train car conductor thing. That would be really cool. Then we have a snowman, who is my fifth definite buy. That head looks amazing. It's exactly what I wanted. Again, it's another one I'd pretty much given up on them ever doing because they make snowmen out of normal minifigure heads all the time. But this is perfect. This is everything I ever needed. Comes with a broom. Maybe would have liked if he comes with like an extra carrot or like a piece of coal or something, would be also pretty cool. But he got the scarf, he's got the printing. I keep thinking he's got like leg warmers on because of the way the broom's positioned in this picture, but it's fine. And then of course the top hat as well. Oh, fantastic. I love that figure so much. He looks amazing. I cannot wait to have him and integrate him into a Christmas layout. We then got the Sugar Plum Fairy, who is a no-go for me, although I do love her candy cane, but great figure inclusion all the same. We've then got the Nutcracker, who is the last of my 6 definite buys. Fantastic headpiece, fantastic face print, great nut print, as well as epaulets, and some great leg printing too. It just looks fantastic. It's another one I never thought we'd actually see, and it looks great. I hope he has an alternative face with like his teeth open, like he's biting the nut or something, or like his mouth stuffed full. That would be fantastic. Or even if his face was like a wooden face on the other side, that would also be pretty cool. But between him, the snowman, the reindeer, the dragon, the popcorn suit, and Captain Smith of the Titanic, I think we're good. That's 6 out of 12. That is the most CMFs I will ever buy in a CMF. Deliberately, at least. I bought 6 in Lego Movie Series 2. And I ended up with 5 from Harry Potter Series 2. And I had more than that in Harry Potter Series 1. I had like 9 from Harry Potter Series 1. But there were 20 figures in there, so that's unfair. I've gone on a sidetrack. There will be the most amount of non-licensed figures I've bought since Monsters, because that is crazy. This is just a great series. And I haven't even talked about the Elf Girl. Great, but not a huge fan. Didn't need another elf, and the pigtails are meh. The Carbot robot suit, it is cool, but I like the Clockwork robot from series 9 or 6 better. And then the turkey is great to see that theming extend from Christmas to Thanksgiving. It is fantastic. Really memorable series, and that's all I've been saying, because for the last couple of years these licensed series all sort of blur together. Series 22 stands out a little bit more for me, but it's maybe more recent, but I cannot tell Series 21 and Series 20 apart anymore, so that's a thing, I guess. Right, on to our final news for the day. I've kept you long enough and I've gushed for long enough over some amazing sets, but Series 23, absolutely amazing. A lot of people are going to hate it. I will defend it to the end. And both the Galaxy Explorer and I still can't even explain the Lion Castle. I might have to come back to that, but it is amazing. Before we move on to Mario, though, I do need to talk about 90th anniversary. Missed potential. Where is the other themes? Why do we just have these two? You know they sell. You have a dedicated fan base that will buy them. There are 55,000 votes in that ideas poll, and you make sets based off a 10k ideas vote. So, where are the adventurous ones? Where are the other themes that were in the top 10? You could have made so much more money. Again, you've done brilliantly with what you've done, but you've got so much missed potential. There's so much more you can do. I just don't get why we're limiting ourselves like this now. Anyway, moving on. Character packs. I have some thoughts. For context, you guys know I love them to bits. Series 1 to 4, consistently topping my most wanted list for the year. I've got more than half of them, I think, which is fair considering I don't ever actually played a Mario game in my life. And unsurprisingly, I was very, very excited for the next one, Character Pack Series 5. And it was one of the sole reasons I watched any of LegoCon, given that I wasn't particularly hyped for the castle, didn't know Series 23 were going to be there, and of course the Galaxy Explorer was willing just to wait and see with. And I'd always seen the Minecraft sets and stuff, so there was very little reason for me to watch LegoCon apart from this, and I was just excited to be there. And my initial reaction was, yeah, I'm pleased with this. That was, as they were going through them, I was like, cool. Who came out first of the little brick pit thing they were doing? We had the red Yoshi showed up, and the blue Shy Guy, and I was like, oh, cool. And the purple Toad, and I was like, yes, I can finally get myself a Toad. And we got to the end, and nothing was really amiss because you couldn't really tell much from the video. At least I wasn't, because it was going so fast, and I was getting so excited. It had 8 characters, some of which I'd never heard of before. Pleased to see Nabbit for people and stuff, and we'll talk about the characters in a minute. And then I was like, hang on a minute, that's 8, not 10. Where are the other 2? Are they hiding them? Why haven't they shown me the other 2? Spoiler alert, there's only 8. Strike 1. Okay, 8. Oh, the bases are bigger. That's fair, that's cool. The more display options. You've got some nice new vine pieces. You've got the Toad on his little hills. You have this nice new cactus build. And some of the characters are also bigger, I should say. But in whole, the characters do, like, it's a strong selection with some really awesome bases. Oh, the bases are bigger. I'm not going to strike this one because technically bigger is better, and yeah, this is better. But I am going to be upset that my consistency of them all being 4 wide has just been destroyed by this lot. If this is the norm going forward, it's a completely different displaying game. Like, they're bigger, they're bulkier, they're still stretching outside their 6 wide thing. I built a custom display for the 4 wide ones, and now you're telling me that I cannot display these guys alongside it because you didn't want to have consistency. Now, I, above all people, know that kids only stay with Lego for 2.5 years or so, meaning they've got new kids coming all the time. It's the reason the Armory was redesigned, because they can. They need to entice new kids, and they can do it differently because they know that a very small percent of people, mostly just the adults, are going to have the old system. Mario is only just 2 years old. This is way too soon for something like this. It's just another little irksome detail. However, I am happy because the stands are like my favourite part, apart from the characters, which means nothing in the rain scenes. The stands look better. Like, you can do more on these stands. It is fantastic. It opens it up to me doing more of my custom stands as well for the characters that don't have one, like Big Urchin and the Goomba and stuff. It means I can do more, and I'm fantastic. And specifically, the Hammer Bro one stands out because it looks perfect for lava. The Red Yoshi one stands out as looking great with the sand dunes and the new ball cactus. And the Purple Toad one, because you know how much I love those hills, and you can just get so many more of them on a plate like this. Looks great. And actually, I do want to bring up that we get the vines on the Water Wing one as well, so that's really cool. So overall, nothing's really happened yet. It's gone down to 8, but we've got a really strong character selection with bigger bases, some great characters. It's the first series where I consider myself potentially in the market for 7 of them out of the 8. That's a higher ratio than ever before, with my one exception being Toadie, because I know that's just weird. But I was strongly considering that this would be a really good series. It wasn't until 2 hours later that we realised they'd upped the price. Strike 2. So not only did you lower the amount of characters, you're now making me pay more for them. But you know my love for character packs. I love them. You're getting more here. Yes, it doesn't feel like £1.50's more worth of value. A lot of the characters we've already seen in character packs before, such as the Shy Guy, and characters such as Baby Yoshi, Waddle Wing, and Purple Toad, don't feel any bigger than a normal character pack character, meaning that half of these don't feel like an increase of value. Like, it is not. They were good value before. £3.50, I felt good about buying them because they were better than a CMF to me. Like, you get 6 pieces in a CMF, yeah, they're detailed, but you can do nothing with them. These were good. Now these feel like pretty much every other LEGO thing at this price point, overpriced, and it's kind of disappointing. But I have to admit, they've upped the piece count by 50%. We've got more unique characters. They are more detailed. There are more prints. They are bigger. A lot of them, like particularly Hammerbro and Nabbit, stand out as much bigger, chunkier characters that also then have sizable bases. But this is when we come to Strike 3. The bit that changed everything. The bit that has ruined it for me. And the reason why, unless there is a definitive guide that guarantees which one is which, I will be boycotting these sets, and I suggest you do too, because they cannot continue to get away with this. They put them in boxes instead of blind bags. And I was excited for this series, but this is one too many things. Upping the price, lower characters with no significant increase in value, and you put them in a cardboard box. So we can't feel them. They're not going to sell as well, because that's what happened with video. And then, to top it off, they're going to get stolen, and stores won't want to buy them. You have ended character packs. You have actually found a way to game end the theme, which is quite impressive. Because you listened to video, we said, hey, this didn't work. Here's 7 examples of why this didn't work and why maybe, despite the environmental benefit, you should try and look for another solution. And they said, let's just do the same thing again. And I suppose, the plates are bigger, they won't fit in the bag. Make a bigger bag. You have poly bags, for goodness sake. These cardboard boxes are going to get mutilated within weeks, and I will make a follow-up video when it happens to send to LEGO, because it's incredibly disappointing. Usually I feel very strongly that they take feedback onto account when it's not coming from whiny fans. I'm talking to you, Star Wars. And they listen. Look at Marvel, look at Harry Potter. They have listened. LEGO generally listens to when the small kiddywinks come in and tell them that they're not being eco-friendly enough, or they're disappointed in the amount of packaging, or stuff. And I'm sure in 6 months' time they're going to change their instruction manuals back because we made a big stink about it. This is potentially the first time that I feel like they haven't listened and it's detrimental. I had a product that I was going to buy and they were going to get at least £25 out of me. Now they're getting nothing. That isn't, and unless the boxes are in the right order, you know I still love the characters, right? Even if there is a guaranteed way to do them, at £5 I will only buy 3. They were going to get 7 lots of £3 from me. They were going to get £21. Yes, they're still going to get 15 from me if they can guarantee me a way to get my characters. But my point being is that they would have got a full series out of me. Now they will not. I cannot afford to do a full series. I will still buy the Baby Yoshi because he's so stupid looking. The Hammer Bro because it's a much desired character, and the Purple Toad. However, so much so for the Nabbit, Red Yoshi, Blue Shy Guy and Waddle Wing. All of which I would have bought at the normal price. Nope. Not unless they go on sale and I can guarantee whose is who, which I won't be able to do when these things go on sale because they're not going to have a sealed box and put them on sale. So my only hope is that Sainsbury's puts them at a discount price, because I won't buy them, or that eBay does something decent with them. But it just really, really sucks. Yeah, some of it ain't Lego's fault. The price increase is at the state of the world, but also along that lines, I was fairly impressed to see that it was a lot more of the expensive stuff that was going up in price, the adult stuff, the people that can actually do without their luxury toy, and that can save and be responsible with their disposable income, and that a lot of the kids sets at the 15, 20 or £7 range weren't changing, so there was still pocket money stuff to buy for these kids. They're still kids, they still need this stuff to be accessible, and no, Lego just proved that they want to trance on that too, so there was a lot of respect for them lost as well. So I know I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but it's stinky. They've basically tanked the line, and I'm kind of upset about it, because I wanted to buy them. I wanted to like this series. There's a lot of stuff I love here. As I mentioned, Baby Yoshi looks incredibly funny. I love the way he looks. I want to see how he interacts, and I love the lily pad as well as his background build with the cloud. Hammer Bro, character we've wanted for so long. So nice to see him here. Great build, really substantial build. Purple Toad, new Toad colour, perfect. Sign me up for more. I also love his backdrop. The new Vine pieces in Waddle Wing, who's another character that people have wanted for a long time. Red Yoshi, new Yoshi colour, brilliant, and in a cheap set. Although there's that polybag of yellow Yoshi coming, and I'm not happy about that, but that's a separate issue. That should have been a new colour. Why is that the yellow one? The blue one. Put the blue one in the polybag. Anyway, again, another lovely landscape build with the desert cactus. Navit, character people have wanted forever. Looks great, really well built. Nice display as well, using that orange and the mushroom. Blue Shy Guy, new Shy Guy colour, cool. Still prefer the red one, but nice to see him here. That's great, with the poison swamp and the logs and the little boat. Really, really nice. And Toadie, another really wacky one. Just great, with these clouds coming out the base, is so cool. They're great characters, but you just went one too far. We either got a little bit greedy, or times have got a little bit tight. But 3 strikes, and unfortunately I'm out. So I really hope that I can find a guaranteed way to get the ones that I want, and hopefully maybe they'll still get 6 out of me, if we're lucky. However, at the moment, all I'd like to say is that for anyone from LEGO listening, disappointment. Real big disappointment. And a lot of missed potential, if I say nothing else. And that is how we're going to end today's video, on a really depressing note. Let me know what you thought of the LEGO Con reveals. Series 23 and Mario Character Pack Series 5 are the 2 ones that I'm most interested to hear from you guys about in the comments if you're still watching. Also, love to hear your thoughts on, of course, the 90th anniversary stuff. Very, very special. It's been a very good year. Still some missed potential, though. However, that Galaxy Explorer is incredible. And, of course, the castle. Just gushing with love, the castle. But anyway, let us move on, and I'll let you get back to your day. So let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. And please put your insight into the Mario Character Pack stuff, and maybe I'll make a follow-up, and maybe we'll send it off to LEGO and angrily complain. But we need to put an actual argument together. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye.